All right, we're back. Journey of an Entrepreneur, episode 11. Today we're going over resilience. And I have here our co-host, co-founder, Karlin Humphrey.
What's going on, man?
What's up? My name is Tyquon
Which
Jordan, and we're gonna get right into it. So, we're gonna break resilience down into 3 points. So, first, we're gonna go over mindset. We're gonna then discipline, and then consistency. All right. So, mindset is very important, and I'm gonna let Carlin share his thoughts on mindset and how it ties into resilience and business in general. So,
All right, yeah. With mindset, right? I like to think of it as, there's three stages where people are in their lives. You're either surviving, living, or thriving, right? Surviving in my opinion is, living paycheck to paycheck, just having enough to get by, worried about things like, am I going to be able to pay rent or am I going to be able to take care of my family, stuff like that. And you're just doing the bare minimum to keep yourself afloat, right? If you think about you're in a lake and you're just, trying not to drown in that. And it can be exhausting and tiring. And, you end up just putting all of your focus on just staying afloat that you don't really think about what you need to do in order to get to that next stage and where you're not having to worry about those things because it starts to feel like the norm. And, with resilience, I like to think of it as a way to get you past the current stage within your life. So resilience can help you, go in and go the extra mile to take you out of that surviving mode and put you in a better place, right? And even if you get past the surviving mode, say for instance, now you have a job, you're able to pay for your house, and you're able to take care of your kids to a certain extent, but you're not necessarily free. You're not necessarily doing what you love to do, but you're comfortable. You're safe, right? Even in the living stage, it can be very deceptive because it doesn't necessarily mean that you're happy. It just means that you're not, you know, worried about not having the stuff that you need to survive. And that can really lead you to complacency and not necessarily achieving what you are truly supposed to be doing. So, again, resilience can help you go in and from a business perspective, right? If you have an idea, resilience can help you whether you are working overtime, that'll give you the extra mile to go in and make sure you're doing what you need to do from the business side in order to get you to the point where you can ultimately be in that thriving mode where you feel like your needs are met and that you're fulfilling your purpose for what you're supposed to be doing within your life. So that's kind of how I envision the resilience mindset and how it can affect people. So what about you, Ty?
yeah, so mindset is the foundation to everything we do in life. Um, if you think about it, the planet, everything on it, all the animals, all the plants. Okay, so out of the animals, us as humans, we're not the strongest. We're not the biggest. We don't have the claws. We don't have the teeth. But how are we running the planet? How are we the most dominant being on the planet? It's because of our mind. And so many people spend more time working out or doing something rather than their mindset. Your mindset is your strongest asset. All right. And many of the times people work harder on their jobs than they do on their mind. And or on their business than on their mind. If you work harder on your mind, you're going to learn more skills, you're going to see things, and that's going to get you a better job, that's going to improve your business. And so that's where I'm at now in my life. I'm working on my mind because once you get more information in and things, you're able to see obstacles as opportunities. Okay. And then that ties into resilience. So when you see obstacles as opportunities, you can either shy away from it or you can go into it knowing it's going to be tough, knowing it's going to be hard, but you're still going to push through. And I like to think of mindset as a foundation of a house, right? And if a house is not sturdy, the foundation, the whole house is going to collapse. So if you're trying to build a business with a broke mentality mindset, with the scarcity mindset, with we can't succeed because we're this ethnicity or we don't have experience or things like that, it's going to crumble. But you have to have that resilience, say, no matter what comes my way, I'm going to push forward. I'm going to strive to change my life, change my family's life. So that's what I think about with mindset.
Oh yeah. With your mindset, right? It's a lot of times people get stuck in their own ways and they're wondering, why do I keep making the same mistakes? It's not, it's not like a physical thing, right? Like it's not, I can't stop doing something, from a physical standpoint. It's all about your mentality and how your mind is currently wired. And so, like you said, it is the foundation, and whatever your mindset is, it'll seep and it'll basically dictate how you perceive things throughout, not only just in your business, but your personal life and other relationships that you have. Your mindset is incredibly important, and if you ever are feeling stuck in that you keep making the same mental mistakes, or that you're not really progressing in as well as you thought in certain areas, then you should work on building up a stronger mindset. And just like with anything, it takes practice. I know I've had to do that in the past, and a couple things that you could do. I mean, from whether it's you're talking to someone, whether it's like a therapist, and I think there's a huge stigma about therapy, but being able to talk to someone whose professional job is to, teach you how to get over being stuck, it can really help. It's really like, how if you're an athlete, you have a, physical trainer or, a coach. Well, that's a coach for your brain almost. So that's one way. And there's other, easier techniques as well that you can use to help you kind of break through if you're feeling stuck, and to help you build your resilience as well.
Yeah, and that brings up another point. Um, you know, with mindset, you have to get more information, like I said, like reading and stuff, because you can be doing something you think is right, and you keep pushing, you keep getting the same failure after failure, but doing the same thing over and over again is insanity. That's the literal definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over expecting a different result. So you have to change what your information. And there was so a little bit of a story. There was a study on, I believe it was crickets or something. So they put either these crickets or flea. No, it was fleas. They put these fleas inside of a cup, right? And they put a lid over the cup.
Okay.
And so well, first they didn't have a lid, okay? So they had fleas. Okay, they were just jumping out, right?
Yeah.
All right. And so they put the fleas back in the cup, put the lid back over, and just had the fleas jump and they were hitting the cup, the top of the lid of the cup, right?
Yeah.
And so they did this, had the lid on for a little while. And so the fleas got accustomed to it. And so then when they removed the lid, the fleas did not jump out of the cup.
Hmm.
And they would just jump as high as the cover was.
Hmm.
So their mindset was shifted by their environment, outside, outside things. And so we have to realize that if you're trying to change your mindset, you got to change your environment, change some of your friends, change different things because your mindset is influenced by your environment, what you do, what you say, and stuff. So you got to change that. And that ties into resilience as well. Strengthening your mindset and basically going into monk mode, you know? You gotta, you gotta go in the mountains, and it's a hard place, it's tough, but that builds the calluses on,
Hmm.
you know how you work out and you get calluses on your hand? You
Oh
have to
yeah.
put that on your mind.
Yep. No, you're right. I mean, change is always uncomfortable. I mean, good change at least. It's tough at first because you're just not used to it, right? But like anything, practice makes perfect. So you just got to make sure that you're continuing to do the things that you're supposed to be doing, which kind of leads to our second point, right? Which is
Yeah,
discipline.
discipline.
Um, Yep. How do you maintain doing what you're supposed to be doing in order to change your status in life and to ultimately build up the resilience to move on to your next stage, right? So, Ty, I'll ask you this: how do you stay disciplined with the things that you knew? Because I know you do a whole lot, right? Between about to be a doctor and about got a full-time job. So, well,
Yeah.
how do you stay disciplined in your approach whenever you're going through these things?
Well, first we have to understand what discipline is. Now, the foundation of discipline is having a goal in mind. Because if you don't have a goal, there's no discipline to go towards, right?
Yep.
So it starts with a goal. And I also have a video on my YouTube explaining discipline. So go check that one out. But I'll give a brief overview of what discipline is. So I define, you're not going to find this in the dictionary, it's in the Tyquon Jordan dictionary, right? So discipline is the means to delay immediate gratification, pleasure for future desired state or outcome. And so so if you have a goal and it's gonna be tough, anytime you set an intention to do something, there's gonna be disruption. If you want to lose weight, you're gonna have to go to the gym. There's disruption. You're gonna have to change your schedule. You're gonna have to learn how to work out. Learn to enjoy the process, be sore. There's gonna be disruption, right? And so you have to delay immediate gratification. Like, okay, maybe I'll skip working out, right? Well, that hinders you from your goal.
Yep.
So I know when I'm working on the business, I work on it every day. I mean, it really is that important to me because I have a goal in mind. I have a goal to change my life, my family's life, my community. And so when I have a goal, I'm all in. I'm laser focused because I know that maybe I take a day off. Not saying a day off is not cool, but what if I take a day off and that hinders one less day or two less, that equals to two less days of us reaching our desired goal. Maybe that's one less day my grandmother doesn't get to experience the outcome of my goal, right? Because life is so short and people are walking around like we have so much time. The average man in the US is 70, the lifespan is 74 years. So if you're already 37, you're already half your life is right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So we have to have a sense of urgency that, and people don't understand that. And when you're working like crazy, you're like, man, you're working like you don't have no time left. Because I realize that every single day you're dying inside. After you reach 25, your brain stops developing. You're on the decline. And so you have to work with so much intensity and know that your time's running out. So let's get it done now.
I like that. I like that. And one thing that you said too, is to learn to enjoy the process,
Yeah.
right? Obviously, when you're first starting to work out, feeling the soreness and the pain, it is tough, but it's important to find the little things that you enjoy whenever you're going through whatever you're striving to accomplish. Like whether it's afterwards, you get to log it in. For me, for instance. I write everything down, and I like to I have like trackers, and when I complete something, I like to swipe right on my tracker, and it gives me a little notification, ding ding, you've completed this for the day, and it's a great feeling, right? And that's such a small thing, but it's also a motivation because I want to hit the 5 day streak or the 10 day streak, and I want to see, okay, how far can I get, and so even though that's just a little thing, and obviously that's not going to motivate everybody, but find your motivation for continuing wanting to stay disciplined in the endeavors that you're going towards. So,
Yeah.
uh, yeah.
And you brought up a great point. Enjoy the process because everybody says this, but that you don't really understand it into hindsight, right?
Mhm.
So when me and my wife first got married and we were living in a small apartment, I think it was 600 square foot, small, and we got our house, and then we also throughout college, a funny story. It was her birthday, and during college, and my car got declined in front of everybody, right?
Man.
So, and then we get married and we get a small apartment, and then we move into our house. And when you look back over over the past, those were the good days, right? But you don't, in the moment, it felt terrible. When my car
Mhm.
got declined in front of all the friends, it felt terrible, right? But those are the days we could laugh about. And you got to fall in love with the process. Like, for example, for me, I'm in my doctoral program in my last year, just working on one huge project. But once the project's over, I'll get my so-called degree. But when I get my degree, I'm technically a doctor, but during the whole process, I am a doctor technically. I'm working, so I got to learn to love the process because the process is actually the reward,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
And that's what a lot of people miss. And it sounds cliche, like love the process. Ooh. Nobody wants to love the process, right? It's terrible. It sucks. It's hard. You want to give up. You want to stop. But that's when resilience come in. When you have that goal in mind and you know that you have an end goal and the journey is actually the goal. Fall in love with it. So
Yeah.
that's what I think about it. All right. And so we'll move into the third point, consistency. Now, consistency is hard, especially when you're working full time. You got, family, you have things, and it's easy to take a day off or 2 days off or 3 days off. I'm not saying it's not good, but Carlin, what do you think about consistency and uh and that in business and resilience?
Oh yeah. So consistency, right? Doing something, you know, on the daily, or whatever the time frame that you need to be doing something. Like you need for consistency, you need one to and this is what I believe, you need to be able to write stuff down to where you understand what your schedule is and what you need to be doing on that particular event that you have for yourself, right? So it's easy to have a goal, and then it's you say, okay, I want to do this, every day, or whatever, right? But if it's nothing that you actually put on paper, it's tough to it's or not tough. It's easier to say, okay, I'm gonna skip this day, but I'm gonna, just adjust it a little bit, right? And then that's where the inconsistency comes in. So you want to make sure that you kind of put on paper or tell somebody whatever it is to help you stay accountable, which is the key word, right? It's hard to stay consistent if you're not accountable to anything, and you want to make sure that that accountability is tying you to the action that you're trying to accomplish each and every day, or again, whatever the time frame is. So I attribute consistency to staying accountable.
Yeah.
So
And when I think about consistency and resilience, so there's something magical about consistency and the compounding effect of efforts. So when you keep doing something, even if you feel tired and you're like, okay, well, let me just work on it. Like for me, when I'm tired, I force myself to work on it even a little bit because there's a compounding effect of putting in the effort every day. Because, for example, if someone just reads two books a year or something like that, the person that reads maybe 20 pages every 3 days will read more than someone that just picks two books a year. And so it compounds. Like even the little incremental things that you do will add up that will put you past regular people. And I read a book, uh well, I'm reading it now. It's called what's it called? It's called Primerial Seller or something. Yeah. So that book, the guy talked about the compounding effect and how little efforts over time will beat other things. And so you got to realize, you put in your effort and it just stacks up. Like
yep.
for example, if someone, since me and Carlin played sports, if someone was playing basketball, for they played basketball for a whole 8 hours, right, Carlin? All right, 8 hours in a
Mhm.
week, and on
Yep.
one day, Now, someone practiced 2 hours for every day of the week. All right,
Hmm.
the work week. So they no, someone practiced basketball 8 hours for a whole week, and someone practiced 2 hours
2 hours. Hmm.
for each day of the week. So they're gonna beat out someone that did it in one day because when you're practicing basketball, you got to give your body time to get adjusted. If you just do it all at once, it won't really translate into,
Muscle
success,
memory. Yep.
muscle memory, right? You keep doing it, your body gets adjusted, and you keep doing it, and your body gets adjusted and adjusted and adjusted. And then the compounding effect is the person that did it once for one day, your skills are way higher than someone that just did it for one day. So that's what I think about
Hmm.
this.
Yeah. And I think overall, right, it's consistency. It comes from, three things. What you were talking about with effort, right? You need to apply the effort. And then, you also have to be accountable to yourself, or if you have business partners or people that are relying on you, accountable to them. And then finally, it's about routine, right? You've got to have a solid routine in order to maintain consistency. If you it will make it a lot easier, right? If you know that at 7 a.m. in the morning, I'm supposed to be doing this, and that's what I've set my schedule for, and that's what I need to hold myself to, right? When you don't necessarily set a routine for yourself and you're trying to figure out, okay, well, this day I might do it at this time, or this day I might do it at this time. It makes it harder to stay consistent and help build that kind of muscle memory that Ty was referring to, right? Like you want to make sure that you're treating your or getting your mind and your body kind of aligned and that it knows what to do whenever the particular time comes, right? Like I I like to think about my dog. He eats the same meal at the same same time every single day, right? And he knows whenever I take him out to go to the bathroom, he does his job right on schedule. But earlier in his life, I did not do that. I, fed him whenever I remembered, and I got varying results. Trust me on that one. So you want to make sure that you're always having a routine set for yourself. It'll really help you in the long run, and help you build that mindset as well.
Yeah, so yeah, like Carlin said, like a routine will build resilience because when you don't feel like it, you know you're supposed to do it because your body has that muscle memory to do it again. And so when you don't feel like doing it, you're like, okay, this is the time I do it. Now, a lot of times even at work or business, we try to push off something, right? Anybody ever, you the viewer, have you ever pushed off something that you didn't want to do, but you knew you had to do it? And so, and then the time got closer and closer. Okay, you know what? Let me just start. And then when you start, you actually get into it, and
Mhm.
the time goes by quick. So you have to train your mind to just start. And you don't feel like it, but if you just start and skip that pushing off period, you're building calluses, like I said, on your mind, and you're developing your resilience and your discipline and your consistency. And the compounding effect will add up and your resilience. That's what separates good business people from bad ones is its mindset, its discipline and consistency.
Mhm.
And when things don't go their way, when things get tough, the tough people stay around because they have built the calluses on their mind. And that shows them that no matter what happens, I'm going to stick to the routine. I'm not going to give up and I'm going to keep pushing forward because the people that give up will not succeed. They're not going to succeed.
Mhm. Yeah.
But yeah, but if you keep going, you have a 100% chance of succeeding than if you stopped. So
Mhm.
just keep that in mind.
Yeah, the last point I'll make is, everybody faces setbacks, everybody faces failure, everybody faces heartbreak, right? Even the people that are successful now, whether they're successful, in their families or, for their, how much money they have, like, it doesn't matter whether you were born rich or born poor. Every single person on this planet Earth has faced some type of failure in their life and some type of that feeling of just not being where they want to be. And the difference is, like Ty said, right? The people that actually succeed and are able to really feel like they are where they want to be, they're tough and they kept through it. They stuck with it. And the people that fizzled out, well, they gave up. So just one thing to think about. It doesn't matter where you come from, who you are, what you've had previously, what you have now. Everybody faces failure, but not everybody is able to overcome it. So which one are you going to be? Just food for thought.
And my last words of inspiration. Please, the viewer watching this video, please do not give up. It's hard. It's tough. Resilience will and consistency and mindset and a routine will push you to greatness, will push you past your limits. And you will be able, your mind will be have calluses of greatness, of resilience, and that will make you a better person, a better business man, woman, and it will make you a better employee if you're an employee. So, if
Yep.
Carlin, you don't have any last words,
Yep. And oh, you know what? And one last thing. You're right where you can, build those calluses, and when the next time this similar situation comes up, you're already prepared for it. You already know what to do. So,
Yeah. Oh, you already brought something up in my mind, right? So if you just started working out, you get these calluses and they hurt and
hmm
and they're tender. But if you keep working out, something magical happens. They don't hurt no more, right?
Not at
They might
all.
hurt a
Yep.
little, they might peel, but they don't hurt as much as
hmm
the last time. And so
Yep.
that's what happens when you build resilience in your mind and apply it to your business. So if Carlin doesn't have anything, we
That
will.
was the last thing, I promise.
All right. So we will see you in the next episode, and we may have something different next time. We may have some visuals for you. So tune in, and we'll see you next time.
All right.